He wants to race on banana roads, to learn the language of the banana. He wants to jump over borderlines, over red lines and deadlines. He wants to. You can never say you weren't warned, a voice speaks, and then it's like he's melting away into a sort of fruit, into the banana of his dreams, heading for a new old barren, to meet the banana queen. He wants to fall into spirals of new suns, stone and metal colored, until he reaches the taste of the fruit, the core, a new world to enter, all these worlds into worlds. He's in a solar cocoon, melting and melting inside, while outside he's becoming harder. He's becoming a tree, a solar tree. He's living inside, like an autistic boy, and he knows all other golden balls are heading for it. He's melting, covered by stones, by gold, pearls, silver, emerald, like living in a diamond. A voice is speaking. You can never say you weren't warned. It's all deeper inside. He cries like a newborn baby. In this solar womb he will grow, inside the mother, not outside. He will be safe forever here. He will meet his daddy inside, not outside. His daddy lives in his mom. He's heading for a new old barren. He wears so many rings on his fingers now, and he sees the wasps flying from sun to sun. The wasps are so large, he can sit on them. They will show him the way in this strange land. Pats. The teacher smashes a hard object on Anthony's table. Were you dreaming again? He shouts. Yes, mister. Anthony gets a red head. Well, didn't you like the story I told you? The teacher said. It was from the book, Alice in Wonderland. Or were you caught by the white rabbit? Anthony smiles. Well, I guess so, mister. Mr. Bloodhound is the name. Well, it's only the first day for you here, so you will get used to my name, the teacher says, smiling. Chapter 7. Children of the Sun. Anthony's father was an engineer developing communication instruments. He was a dreamer too. He was thinking, what would be the best way for humans to communicate? Direct or indirect? By telephone or tape? Wouldn't it be much more safe when people just hear something which was already spoken? Then they could also have time to react to it. Anthony's father was always a bit paranoid. He found out that Earth's communication went too fast. It was almost manipulative. All the need for autographs, fast answers. No one would wait 1 minute for the other's words. And this was causing all the accidents, the prejudices, the impulsiveness. For no one dared to slow down anymore. One didn't want to be rejected. Anthony's father was a very wise man. He didn't believe in all this society stuff. He was a hard worker, thinking that only the lazy ones created society, while he believed in technical development. He found that people just covered their laziness by their talkative actions. The social strings were about to strangle the whole earth in his eyes. He never went to parties. He was always working in his cellar. His son's dreams were inspirations for him. Such a little boy's having such dreams. It was still unbelievable for him. He wrote all his son's dreams down in maps, and these were almost his sacred agendas. The white rabbit, an old woman, is watching the tape of something they traced. They collected this material. They had their mind microphones and mind cameras and other subsensuous instruments. Her watchers. But suddenly she starts to yell, "Enough of this. These dreams are almost penetrating my holy rooms. You needed to protect my privacy better. Get out of my sight, you stupid fools." And all her deformed watchers ran outside her room, for she was about to spit fire. It was thundering through the White Castle. She was at rage now. She was running through her secret tunnel to reach for her secret cellar. Here all existing suns were pricked on tall sticks, and were burning like candles. All sorts of fire. She was laughing hysterically. And she was yelling, "Burn, burn, burn." Then she ran to another tunnel to appear in a deeper cellar. Here all suns were lying as marbles on a table. Marbles in a layer of sand. They were glowing softly. "You are all mine," she was shouting. "All you little sweeties. You are mine." Her voice was becoming higher and higher. This always happened while she was entering the deeper cellars. Then she ran to an old elevator to enter an even deeper layer below the castle. This was an old hall like a shop floor, and it was full of display statues. They couldn't move, but tears came out of their eyes. "Hello, my pretty little sun children. It's me, Grandmam. I'm back, with some surprises for you." And then she pushed a little switch on the wall, and the statues started to burn. They were shrieking horribly. "Soon enough you will be nothing but ashes on a table," she screamed. And then she took the elevator again, to go to the floor below. This was a place where only ashes were muttering. She was turning into a gigantic alien-like being, like a sort of mega-sun. And she was sucking all the ashes inside, while she was screaming, "I will turn you into Earths again. You will be in my womb. Don't think you can ever escape the prison. You are mine. You are dumb Earth slaves, bound to three-dimensional crap. I will bring all suns back to the ashes. I will use them. And after that they will be Earths again. No one can escape. No one." That night Anthony had a dream about a field of suns. These were planets like Earth wanting to escape the strings. These suns were like soft pillows. They were like flowers with baby faces. And they were floating in this field. But then a tall old woman showed up with a rifle in her hands, shooting all these flowers one by one, while she started to spout waters over them. Poisoned waters, chemical waters and nuclear waters. And then all these suns were exploding, and turning into Earths again. White prisons like holocausts. Barbed wires, covered by blood. These were the Big Bangs, bringing the fugitives back. There was no escape, and he heard babies crying, while something was shaking him very roughly. And then he woke up, screaming, "I want this boy," she screamed. Penetrate his dreams again. She ran to a deeper cellar, where all the Earths were united, like white balls. She scratched some powders from all balls into a dish, which took hours and hours. And then she poured the powders into a kettle to mix them. The mix she would use to poison all escaped souls to bring them back into three-dimensional prisons again, to let them be born into wombs of Earths. She was laughing hard, for the flavors of the kettle were rising, and these were spirits she sent out to get the Earth prisoners back. These spirits were enormous white sharks, and by their noises they broke through all sorts of dimension barriers. They were much feared in the universe. Then she ran hysterically to the floor below. Here the prisoned souls were weak flames. They were singing sad songs. They had to sing for her. When a soul got too much pain, it died and went to a deeper floor. On this floor the souls were a bit happier, but they were living in slavery. They had to do a lot of work, and they needed to sing some happier songs for her. When souls got too tired and too sick, they died and went to the floor below. On this deeper floor the souls lived in luxury. They didn't have to work much. They were the bosses of the floors above them. They could travel, but they lived in isolation, and were very lonely. When they got too lonely, they died, and then they went to a floor below. There they had the top positions, great wealth and health, many followers, honor and popularity, ruling over the other layers above them, and in the possibility to dine with the White Rabbit. They were eating the meat of the other layers above them. They were butchers. They could fly from one to the other layer by turning themselves into flies, and by turning themselves into spiders they could gather the meat. They were like funeral undertakers, doing business around death, causing it, and then using it. But sometimes there were fights among them, and the ones dying in the fights went to an even deeper floor. Here they were like grubs, like the children of the White Rabbit, being spoiled, being protected against all harm. Here they slept in her beds and in her baths. Here they got the royal food, being able to hear the secrets of the white rabbit. Here they had the ability to become her wasps, to be reborn into her own suns. She wanted to create her own suns, her own solar projects, her own solar stairways. She wants souls to be her fires and flames, locked up in the cells of the earth. She lives in all Earth's cores to tame the soul flames there.